Have you ever heard a whisper in the shadows that sent a chill down your spine? A soft, barely audible murmur that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. These are the unseen whispers, the ethereal echoes that exist just beyond the veil of our perception. They're the hushed tones of the unseen, the unspoken and the unfathomable. These whispers carry an air of mystery, a sense of dread that leaves us teetering on the edge of terror and intrigue. They're the unseen spectres that linger in the shadows, the silent storytellers of the dark that hold tales of the unknown. We're unsettled by them, yet we're drawn in, our curiosity piqued as we strain our ears to catch their elusive words. The unseen whispers are not merely sounds, they're experiences, encounters with the unexplainable that leave us with a lingering sense of unease and a thirst for understanding. Listen closely, for the whispers in the shadows have a tale to tell. On the outskirts of a quaint little town stood an old, dilapidated house, shrouded in an eerie silence. This was a house that time seemed to have forgotten, weathered by years of neglect, its once vibrant paint now chipped and faded. Its ancient, gnarled trees stood as ominous sentinels, their bare branches clawing at the grey sky above. Closer to the house, an overgrown garden lay in wild disarray, nature reclaiming what was once meticulously tended to. Such was the desolation that even the most adventurous of local children would dare not venture near. The whispers of the wind seemed to carry tales of the house's past, stories that were enough to send a shiver down the bravest of spines. The house was not always a symbol of dread. Once it was a beacon of prosperity, home to a family revered in the town. But as the years rolled by, strange occurrences began to taint its reputation. It started with inexplicable noises in the dead of night, sounds of dragging chains, muffled cries, and eerie laughter echoing through the darkness. Then, there were the mysterious disappearances. People from the town, guests of the house, ventured in, never to be seen again. The family who lived there, the once respected and admired, became the subject of hushed whispers and wary glances. They were no longer the town's beloved citizens, but the inhabitants of the dreaded house. The family eventually moved away, leaving the house to its solitude and eerie silence. But the stories lived on, growing with each passing year. The house, standing tall amidst the desolation, became a chilling reminder of these tales. Its boarded-up windows and creaky front door seemed to shield more than just an empty home. They were the guardians of a chilling past, a silent testament to the mysterious happenings that once occurred within its walls. But the house held secrets whispered only in the shadows. One day, a curious traveler decided to explore the house, unaware of the lurking shadows. With each step he took, the house seemed to come alive, the darkness pulsating with an unseen energy. The creaking floorboards echoed through the abandoned rooms, the sound bouncing off the peeling wallpaper and cobweb-laden corners. As he ventured deeper into the house, the air grew colder, as if the house itself was breathing out icy breaths. He paused, his hand hovering over the brass knob of a door at the end of a long, shadowy corridor. A strange noise echoed from behind it, a low, guttural growl that seemed to vibrate through the very fabric of the house. He shook off the sudden chill that ran down his spine, reminding himself that there was no such thing as monsters. Pushing open the door, he was met with a blast of cold air. It was as if he had stepped into another world, a world frozen in time. The room was filled with a strange, eerie silence, broken only by the soft tick-tock of a grandfather clock standing tall in the corner. The traveler moved deeper into the room, his footsteps muffled by the thick layer of dust on the floor. He felt a sudden drop in temperature, a cold spot right in the middle of the room. He shivered, pulling his coat tighter around him as he glanced around the room, his eyes drawn to an old, weathered chest sitting against the far wall. The chest was locked, but the key was still in the keyhole. He turned it, and with a creak the lid opened. Inside was a collection of old yellowed letters, each one sealed with a red wax stamp. As he picked one up, a sense of unease washed over him. He couldn't shake off the feeling that he was not alone. His heart pounded in his chest as he put the letter back and closed the lid of the chest. The room was silent, the only sound the ticking of the grandfather clock. He turned to leave, but then he heard it. It was soft, barely audible. A whisper, a voice. It was like a sigh, a breath of wind, a murmur from the shadows. And then, in the silence, he heard it, the faintest of whispers. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, carrying with them a tale of terror. The truth behind the whispers was not merely unsettling, but downright horrifying. The whispers weren't just the wind rustling through the old, decrepit house. No, they were voices, echoes from the past, echoing the anguish of the house's former inhabitants. Now, let's journey into the past, a time when the house was not just a dilapidated structure, but a home filled with life and laughter. A family once lived here, a mother, a father, and their 2 children. They were a picture of happiness, a perfect portrait of the ideal family. But beneath this facade of joy lay a grim reality. The father, a man of ambition and power, was consumed by his greed. He was willing to do whatever it took to climb the social ladder, even if it meant sacrificing his family. He dabbled in the occult, hoping to gain wealth and influence. But he was playing with forces far beyond his understanding. One fateful night, the father's ambition overpowered his reason, and he performed a ritual, a dark pact with forces beyond the mortal realm. Unbeknownst to him, he had not summoned a benevolent spirit, but a malevolent entity, an entity that demanded a heavy price for the wealth and power he sought, the lives of his family. The mother, a woman of grace and kindness, and their 2 children, full of innocence and life, were brutally sacrificed. Their screams of terror filled the house, their pleas for mercy echoing through the halls. The once vibrant home was now a scene of unspeakable horror. The father, realizing the gravity of his actions, was consumed by guilt and despair. Unable to bear the burden of his sins, he took his own life, adding to the tragedy that had befallen the house. And so the house stood, a silent witness to the horrifying events that had transpired within its walls. The laughter and joy that once filled its rooms were replaced by the chilling whispers of the family's tormented souls. The house was no longer just a structure of bricks and mortar. It was a mausoleum, a tomb for the souls trapped within its walls. These whispers, these echoes of the past, are what we hear today. The cries of the mother and children, the remorseful wails of the father, all trapped within the house, a chilling testament to the horrifying truth. But remember, these whispers are not just sounds, they are stories. Stories of a family torn apart by greed and ambition, a chilling reminder of the dangers of playing with forces beyond our understanding. They are warnings, cries for help from the other side, pleading with us to learn from their mistakes, to not tread the same path they did. The house was not just a house, it was a vessel for the whispers of the tormented souls. The traveler fled, but the whispers followed him, echoing in his mind. He could not shake off the haunting echoes of the sinister house, the chilling voices that seemed to seep into his very soul. He left the desolate dwelling far behind, yet the whispers clung to him, a spectral blanket woven from fear and dread. As days turned into weeks, the traveler found himself irrevocably changed by his encounter. He was no longer the carefree voyager, eager to uncover the secrets of the world. The unseen whispers had taken a toll, leaving a mark as indelible as a scar on his psyche. His dreams were filled with the echoes of the house, the tragic past it held, and the terrifying truth he had unearthed. He became a man obsessed, his mind constantly replaying the chilling events of that fateful night. His once vibrant eyes now held a haunted look, the spark of curiosity replaced by a flicker of dread. He was a shell of his former self, a living testament to the terror of the unseen whispers. The whispers, though unseen, wielded a power that was palpable. They held a terror that was as real as the fear that gripped the traveler's heart. The whispers were not just echoes of a tragic past, they were harbingers of a horrifying reality, a reality that could transform the bravest of souls into trembling shadows. The traveler's tale serves as a chilling reminder of the unseen's power, the terror it instills, and the lives it can forever change. It's a tale that lingers, like the whispers themselves in the recesses of our minds, a haunting melody in the symphony of fear. And so the whispers in the shadows continue, waiting for their next listener. They linger in the silence, their chilling voices a testament to their unending reign of terror, a haunting echo of a tale as old as time itself.